Hello, everyone. My name is DeLon Blanks, and today I'm here to present to you my informative speech. If a stranger were to knock on your door and ask you for a place to stay because their life was in danger, would you let them in? Some of us would say yes without hesitation. Others would be more skeptical and choose to focus on the negative implications of that decision. This same issue has been reenacted time and time again with varying stories that pull on our heartstrings. Over the last decade, Europe has been tasked with facing an influx of immigrants from the Middle East and Africa, which has led to the world phenomena known as the European migrant crisis. This issue is important, especially in today's times, because the US is also dealing with an influx of immigrants. And by knowing how other world leaders are dealing with this problem, we could learn from their decisions and tailor our own solution for our own migration dilemma. I'm intrigued with this situation because I've read several historical texts about the inhabitants of Europe colonizing various parts of the world. Yet, at this point in time, the majority of Europeans aren't in favor of letting immigrants into their homeland. The European migrant crisis involves Middle Eastern refugees fleeing their home countries at alarming rates and migrating to the European countries in hopes of escaping murderous civil wars, dictatorships, religious affairs, and economic inequality. In this speech, I will be exploring the points for those in favor of letting the immigrants in, and conversely, I will be doing the same for those who are not. Those in favor of letting the immigrants in believe that Europe will thrive with an influx of immigrants because of the inevitable approaching old median age. According to the European Commission's Aging Report of 2015, there will be just 2 potential workers per retiree by the year 2060, down to half of what it is currently. This occurrence will cause the pension system to grow unsustainable because the children of today's workers will face higher taxes and decreased pension benefits, leaving them without an incentive to work. To negate the effects of this issue, Europe needs an influx of young people who will contribute to the economy. Leonid Bershevsky states that increased immigration is therefore Europe's only salvation from an approaching fiscal disaster. The spurts of young people in Europe's population will spread the burden of public debt over more shoulders, while adding diversity in hopes that new ideas will be spurred. Not only by allowing the immigrants a warm and safe welcome will result in a better foreseeing economy, but it would also be the humane thing to do. Philip Legrain notifies the public that so far this year, 2,300 people have died trying to cross the treacherous Mediterranean waters in often rickety, overladen boats operated by callous smugglers trying to dodge detection. Many refugees prefer to die fighting for a better life as opposed to succumbing to their unfortunate circumstances. Unfortunately, some Europeans don't have that much reverence for these people. Those in favor of keeping the borders closed view the issue from a long-term lens. The right-wing politicians believe that opening up the borders will lead to a detrimental cultural impact on Europe. Peter Baldwin states that high Muslim birth rates combined with stagnant or declining native populations ensure a Muslim majority in Europe in only a matter of time. A Muslim majority is feared by some Europeans because Islam is believed to be a belief system that many of its followers fight to make dominant over all other belief systems and creeds. This societal change will most certainly be hurtful for Europe's Judeo-Christian traditions. Not only will keeping the borders closed stop an unwanted cultural shift, but it also will allow the European states the chance to exercise their legitimate power, which some say is based on sound decision making and not faulty media coverage, intended to invoke the public's emotions. Oftentimes, the media will only show the public what they want them to see and not what's actually there. News reporters will only focus on children at refugee camps to appeal to the public's emotions when, in actuality, the majority of the refugees present are men. Eugene Magyesi reminds his audience that every country has the absolute right to protect its borders and to decide on the type of society it wishes to leave behind to future generations. Magyesi believes that Europe's future depends on sober judgment, not emotional reaction evoked by faulty media coverage. From the information provided, I believe that Europe should open its borders with quotas. There's not a clear right or wrong decision to make in this situation. However, I believe that opening up the borders is more beneficial than it would be harmful for the European Union because of their foreseeable fiscal catastrophe. By allowing a large number of young people to enter, work, and contribute to the economy will certainly offset the possible cultural differences that may arise. The quotas are in place to limit a drastic cultural shift in European culture. By doing this, Europe can reap the benefits of welcoming the immigrants while minimizing the negative effects. In the words of Martin Luther King Jr., an injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Let us remember the wise words of Dr. King by speaking up for what we believe to be ethically right and to speak against what we believe to be morally corrupt. Thank you.